Hey, what's happening everyone? I hope you're having a great day. Guys, we are going to be going over the Neko rig or Neko rig. Now, this rig originated in Japan, and all you need to do this technique is some nail weights, a hook, and optionally something to help the job along, the Geecrack Neko hacks. Now, the Neko rig is very unique. It's been taking the professional industry by storm. All these different companies, from Yamamoto to Big Bite Baits to, all the Japanese companies, of course, anyone that makes a worm is coming out with Neko specific stuff. Now, with the Neko rig, it is very unique in the fact that it is a very finesse technique that gets a lot of bites. You can rig it so many different ways. You have so many different weights you can use, so many different hooks, so many worm designs that give each bait a very unique action. We're going to be talking about a brand new bait into the store here right now, and that is going to be the Nories flip gills. Now, they do make a 3.8 inch version and a 5-inch version. If you recognize these baits right here, Taku Ito recently won Smith Lake with the Bassmasters on this bait right here with the 3.8 version. This is the 5-inch version. Little bit bigger. Honestly, only an inch bigger. You're really only adding a little bit of section to the back. And then the little flippers here are also bigger, which give it a little bit longer full profile. Now, back to the Neko rig. The Neko hacks. This is very important to keep your baits alive. You don't want to be going through one bait, especially stuff like this where they are a little pricey. You don't want to go through a ton of them. Now, what helps is the Neko hacks, and I'll show you the Neko hacks here. Basically, it is going to go through your bait and allow you to throw your baits without having to tear through the plastic. So this is actually going to hold your bait on the hook, or hold your hook to the bait, essentially, with this little T part in the back there. We'll see if you can see it. That is going to hold on, and then the little hole there is going to hold your hook. Now, all you have to do for a Neko rig, find where you want to put the nail weight. Most people stick it straight through the nose, so that's what we're going to do here. I've got my flip gill, and I'm going to take my nail weight, go directly down the center of the nose. Make sure to get it as straight as possible. I'm just using some 3/32 ounce weights. If you want to use 1/8 ounce, that's awesome. If you want to throw heavier because you're fishing deeper water, go right ahead. Personally, right now, the ones I'm using are the tungsten Neko nails from 6 cents. These are very inexpensive. They have the little ridges in them, so they don't actually fall out of your bait. Neko rig is very susceptible to losing a lot of your equipment just because everything is kind of ran separate from each other. So these, again, are the 3/32, one of my favorite sizes. Again, I do use the 8s, and kind of just depends on the day what the fish want. If it wants it faster falling, I'm going to go up in size. If it wants it a lot slower, I'm going to go down in size. And it also depends where I'm fishing. If I'm fishing brush, a rock pile, if I'm fishing up on a flat, if I'm fishing around grass, all depends on the different weights. Now that my nail weight is in the plastic here, this is big. This is really big. Depending on where you put this Neko hack or where you attach your hook gives the bait different actions. What I found, a lot of people like to put this very far down into their bait. What that's going to do is it's going to help drive the head of this bait around. So I call it the death spiral. Essentially, with flat baits like this, when you have your line attached to it, imagine a tension point. When you have it very close like that, it allows the bait to really, really spiral down. That head gets pointed in one direction. The tension from your line going out towards you into the bait is going to make this head spiral very, very tight. So when you do that, to use the Neko hack, you're going to use the pointy end here. You're going to go straight through the bait, and you're going to pull it out the other side. So I'm going to go here, push it all the way up against the bait, as you can see there. And it doesn't really matter if you go, I guess, horizontally or vertically. As long as it holds there, you're going to be good. So you can see how top heavy this bait is from the tail. Again, as you pull like this, it's going to drive that head at an angle, and it's going to do some big circles around where you're throwing. So it might feel off balance as it falls, but as you pull it, it's going to look like this essentially. And right here, I don't know if you can see it, but basically the hook slot on that Neko hack is barely showing, which is perfect. This is the large version. They come in a small and a medium size. For trick worms and anything of that caliber, I highly recommend the large. If you're throwing really flat things, like extremely flat, like a panorama, this guy has a little bit more meat than a panorama. I would go with a medium. And it also depends on the size of your lure. If it's a bigger lure, obviously, go bigger. Something like this. Something very thick. Now, so that is down near the bottom. I do this a lot of the times. If I'm fishing specifically certain cover, like a brush pile or a rock pile, where it's going to be, you know, at maximum like a 5 to 10 foot area, what I'm going to do is actually throw this higher up in the bait. And here we go. We're going to push that in. Perfect. It does, again, it doesn't have to be perfectly up and down, vertical, horizontal. It doesn't matter. You can adjust it how you want it. It's not going to affect the action that much. Essentially, what that's going to do is keep your hook, one, higher off the bottom, like this, and two, it's also going to allow the bait to really free fall straight down. That head, as you can see as I'm holding it here, that head stays pretty straight. It might move forward just a little bit, but it's not going to spiral as much. And that is the main difference between a lot of people. Depending on how you're fishing, if you use maybe the VMC crossover rings, you can adjust it on your worm. This one here, again, easy on the fly. You can just take your hook out, pull the thing back out, and redo it. And you can also cut this little point off right there. You can cut that little point off, and you can rehook your thing. So that is the Neko rig using the Neko hack from Geecrack, as well as the 6-inch nail weight. I hope you enjoyed the video, learned something new about the Neko rig. Again, this bait is absolutely killer in the summertime. You know, as those bluegills move out to the brush piles, the crappies move out to the brush piles. This is about the size of those juvenile fish. You know, earlier in the spring, early summer, those baits are going to be closer to that 3.8 inch. This is getting closer to a full-grown adult around that, you know, half a year time. They're going to get around this big. So this is a great imitation bait for crappie, bluegill, sand bass, anything that gets around a brush pile. This is going to be a great option. Again, we've got 4 different colors to choose from. They're going to go fast. These baits here do have a little bit more salt, so this here is a little bit heavier than I normally throw. I'd have to bump my rod up. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely check out the description. I'm going to have everything linked down below. And also, the stuff I used in this video, the Neko hacks, the flip gills, as well as the nail weights that I use here. This is all going to be one package all together for you, nice and easy. You don't have to do anything. One's going to be rigged up with the nail weight already with the Neko hack in it. So definitely head over to the website, search all of our demo tackle that we use in all the videos here, and I hope you enjoyed again. Thank you so much for watching the video, and we'll see you next time at Lake Pro Tackle. See you guys.